up, you beautiful bastards? Welcome back to the Philip DeFranco Show.
In today's video, we're breaking down learning from the personality type of Philip DeFranco. Philip DeFranco is an ENFP personality type, and he has a lot of stuff going on. I mean, think about how demanding it is to take in all that information every single day, need to sort it out, perform it, present it clearly, concisely, but at the same time, have a team, have all these other projects, be running a production like the Philip DeFranco Show. That is a lot of stuff to react to manage. In a recent personal vlog, Phil actually opened up about some of the things he's been feeling. How this past year, he's been doing a lot, but it's been a little uncomfortable for him to realize, for him to recognize that he hasn't been fully doing okay.
Once I started listening to myself this year, it made me fully realize how bad things have gotten up here.
This actually happens pretty often with ENFPs, his personality type. Sometimes ENFPs find themselves in situations where they shut down their feelings in a sort of unhealthy way. Why does this happen? Where does it come from? And what can we all learn from this dilemma Philip's been processing, working through? All that and more in today's video, so if you're ready, buckle up, let's get right into it. So the first thing you need to understand about ENFPs like Philip DeFranco is that they sort of like having their antenna up all the time.
I do want to pass the question off to you. What are your thoughts about this Tom Cruise audio and rant? Where do you land on this and why?
ENFPs in particular have fun exploring possibilities, taking in new things, making new connections that have never existed before or that people aren't expecting. Taking in a lot of stuff, sort of freely jumping around to different things like Phil does on the Philip DeFranco Show or like he does with his humor, that's not as exhausting for ENFPs as it would be for other personality types. They actually sort of find it fun to be taking things in faster than they can sort it out. And so an important thing to keep in mind to understand where ENFPs are coming from when they have this shut down their feelings pattern is that they are the types of people that prefer to have a lot of stuff going on. They like it when new stuff is happening, when things are moving. If things slow down too much and become predictable, for their personality type, that actually makes them a little uncomfortable. Keep that in mind. Now, as the new stuff flows in very quickly, ENFPs eventually need to decide how they're gonna sort things out. Out of all that new stuff coming in, what are they gonna value? How are they going to prioritize things? And this is the part of the process where ENFPs often get a little stuck. You see, ENFPs have a thinking side and a feeling side that compete all the time. If your personality type ends with FP or TJ, the tension we're going to be talking about today between introverted feeling and extroverted thinking, it also applies to you. It might not look for you or play out exactly the same way as it does for Phil, but this push-pull between your emotional, expressive, individualist side and that executive, task-oriented, more pragmatic side of you, with the FPs and TJs, this is a very real pattern that affects you every single day. Okay, so introverted feeling and extroverted thinking. Let's dig a little deeper. The feeling decision-making style of ENFPs, it's something called introverted feeling. And introverted feeling is a superpower that lets certain personality types ask very naturally all the time, what feels right to me? How is this making me feel? It's sort of a slow, thoughtful check-in that likes making sure, what I'm doing right now, is this in alignment for me, my values? Am I authentically expressing who I really am? Introverted feeling is what inspires, drives Philip DeFranco to communicate, express himself the way he does. When he wants to make a point, an argument, an appeal, he does that in a feely way. He likes speaking to people's feelings in a way that compels, in a way that strikes a chord, in a way that relates. Introverted feelers are amazing at this.
No, he's not your grandpa saying some off-color stuff about a protected group or having some bad opinions. When you constantly mislead people, let them think that other people are doing crazy, nefarious things, that they are your enemy.
Even if it ruffles some feathers, Philip is comfortable letting his personality, his feelings fly out, especially if that's what he's deeply feeling inside.
I'm pro-America. There's a difference, and it's horrifying that you do not see it. I'll see you at the show on Monday.
That's all powered by his introverted feeling that likes going inward, checking in, How is this making me feel? On the other side of the coin though, for ENFPs is their extroverted thinking, their other favorite way of making decisions. This decision-making style, it's quick, it's unemotional, it's pragmatic. Extroverted thinking prioritizes goals, prioritizes outcomes over individual feelings. This side of Phil has also brought him a lot of success. It's what lets him run the Philip DeFranco show as well as he does. In order to report all that information clearly, concisely, every single day, with a team, with editors, with sponsors, think how much executive thinking, managing skills, output focus is necessary to get all of that done. Phil can't just wing it. He can't just do or say whatever he feels like. In order to make his show more functional, effective, Phil needs his extroverted thinking. His introverted feeling side of him is balanced out by his extroverted thinking, which helps him take a step back and execute, perform, manage. You see how both these sides of the coin, these opposites together, really are so core to who Philip is, what he brings to the table. They really empower him to do what he's really, really good at. Again, if your personality type ends with FP or TJ, chances are you relate to this push-pull between that emotional, expressive, individualist side of you and the more executive, strategic, pragmatic side of you that seems to contradict, seems to clash all the time. ENFPs in particular are really good at bouncing between these two opposites. This powers them to be able to pull off a lot of things other personality types can't. So how does this go wrong? Well, for ENFPs, out of those two, introverted feeling is the one that sometimes gets thrown under the bus. Introverted feeling is the one that they are best at, but sometimes there's situations where it's a little uncomfortable, a little scary to use introverted feeling. Here's what I mean. When life sometimes gets extra complicated, extra confusing, think like a breakup, a loss, a career crisis. Is this job actually good for me? Is this relationship, this person actually good for me? Or in Phil's case, what if I, underneath the surface, am actually not doing okay? Those are the types of problems that don't figure themselves out. You can never rush through those things, and no one else can figure those things out for you. But when ENFPs encounter some of those things, their instincts sometimes are to just use their extroverted thinking to try to knock out the problem. You see, extroverted thinking can be very tempting for ENFPs because it keeps things moving, it keeps things fast. It's also a way they can shut down their feelings, avoid them, because extroverted thinking makes things impersonal. It's sort of like a shield. And most tricky of all, extroverted thinking usually makes it where it's really hard for other people to even notice that anything is going wrong. Because from the outside, it looks like ENFPs are just churning out results, progress, productivity. It seems like things are fine. When other people check in, ask how they're doing, there's always this mountain of stuff ENFPs can point to deflect, to distract. If you're an ENFP, you probably know what I'm talking about. Things are off for ENFPs when there's a lot of busyness, a lot of getting things done, but very little slowing things down and checking how they're actually feeling, how they're actually doing. Let's briefly take a look at Phil's version of this dilemma. Let's see if we can spot any of these patterns we've been talking about here today.
Once I started listening to myself this year, it made me fully realize how bad things have gotten up here. And while I've talked openly about the ups and the downs that I go through, really listening to myself like I was someone that I cared about, and realizing how depressed I've been. And specifically this year, I know that for a lot of people who have dealt with a lot, it's gone to a different level. And where that kind of went for me is I started developing an eating disorder where I would binge, and then I would binge and purge, and then I'd eat again for some sort of, to feel something, and then to feel control and not have to deal with the negative impacts of that.
Here, Phil's bringing up a lot of serious personal stuff, mental health, depression. All that stuff is disconnected, much bigger than just the personality stuff we've been talking about today. But what I want you to notice is the hesitance, the resistance to checking in with his feelings. It's uncomfortable for him. It's scary for him. ENFPs at their best are actually incredibly good at checking in with their feelings. They're better at it than other personality types, which is why things get thrown off when ENFPs suppress, try to ignore that introverted feeling side of them.
For the first time, I realized maybe I need a little more help. Very recently, I started a very small dose of Lexapro. I started doing couch to 5K to get into better shape, because I'm in the worst shape of my life.
For ENFPs, extroverted thinking is actually great when it helps them get done what feels right to them. So here, Phil is taking action steps. He is getting things done, getting things moving, but he's not doing it to avoid his feelings, to distract himself. He's doing it to take care of his needs. When extroverted thinking decisions are at full blast, it turns everything into a resource. It prioritizes getting things done, being effective, being functional, over people's individual feelings. Here, Phil's slowing things down and going, wait, one of those pieces in the machine, it's me. I need to take care of myself. I can't just think of myself as a resource all the time. I'm also a real person with needs, with feelings.
Just be nicer to yourself and give yourself that slack and understand that you are not lesser than because you are dealing with whatever your struggle is. And 3, no special transition here to deflect or distract from me trying to be vulnerable here. I feel like I've missed talking to y'all on a personal level instead of it being like me reacting to something else in the world, just being me, presenting that to you and reconnecting. Because the unfortunate thing is that over the last 14, 15 years, this is the way that I've realized that I like to connect to people, and also hopefully that can have some sort of impact. So hello. It's nice to meet you again. I love your face. I hope you like mine, and if you do, I think I'm gonna pop some of these out, and I don't know, maybe we can be a little less lonely together.
You see how the personal, expressive side of Phil gets embraced by the end of this video? He's smiling, his posture is going, like, wait a second, this is me. I am awesome. I do need to take care of myself. These are some of the things I've been feeling, working on, and I am a real person. Every personality type has different contradictions, different blind spots, different ways they find clarity. And I really want to figure out how to help you see yours more clearly. It's so fun and powerful to understand what personality superpowers you bring to the table. What does it look like when your personality type is a little stuck, and how do you get out of it? For ENFPs, slowing things down, making sure they're checking in with their feelings is exactly what they need. But if you're a different personality type, that already might be super easy for you. Or if you're a completely different personality type, that might not be helpful at all. On this channel, I want to do whatever I can to help these personality patterns be a little bit more clear to you, be a little bit more fun and accessible for you, so that you can connect better with other people, so you can take better care of yourself, so you can embrace your individuality and be a better change maker in this world. If you enjoyed this video, more breakdown videos coming soon. I just put out a video on my second channel about how you make decisions and how that might be a little different from other people. And if you want to learn more about introverted feeling, what that looks like in action, you should check this video out right here. You are the change maker of your own life. Let's think more deeply. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, peace. Bye.